It's funny how we're all just like here early.
Smooth part of the Hi.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
It's 7 o'clock, and thus we will start our meeting with our theme, a joke for a laugh. Ho, ho, ho. Ha, ha, ha. That too.
It's better. Oh, that's it.
Did I ever tell you about the time I went mushroom foraging? It's a story with a moral at the end. And it also, why do crabs never volunteer? Because they're shellfish. All right. Now for just a few announcements.
I think we lost the audio.
We lost audio. We're not gonna hear you. But you're not muted.
Can you hear us now?
I can hear you now.
Yeah.
I hit that unintentionally with my hand, unfortunately. Okay, as I was saying, next week we will have our division director, Nicole Adams, at the meeting to do our installation of officers. Michelle and I have set that up, so if all the I would like everyone to be here, but the officers most especially really need to be here next week. And we will also be honoring a couple of pathways that have been achieved so far early in this term. Our club contest will be in October. It will be either the 16th or the 23rd. That date is yet to be determined. It's leaning toward the 23rd right now, but that has yet to be finalized. So keep an eye out for that. Jim Palomsky will have a flyer out soon about that. Keep in mind about the club contest. In order to qualify for the international speech, you need to at least have a level 2 pathway. But if you want to participate in table topics, any club member can do that. So,
for example, David is a DTM, so he doesn't have to do that.
Yeah, he's a DTM. Anything goes for him.
What's the date for the?
And it's either the 16th or the 23rd of October. That date has yet to be finalized. Also, just for those of us who partake, remember that for the Palomsky Fantasy Football League, if you are involved in that, tonight is the fantasy football draft. I think it's at 7 p.m. tonight, Jim? Yep. So keep that in mind. We have an event on the 26th. I would, if Jacob wants to remind the club about that. Let me pull it up. Yeah, I'll talk about it. Actually, Eric, while I pulled up to you. We also have a guest today in Toastmasters. Welcome to Deerwood Toastmasters. For our guest, can you introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, I'd like to introduce Manny. Manny Escott is the president of one of the newest clubs in the district, Work Texas Toastmasters, and they meet down there near Gallery Furniture, right next to Gallery Furniture, actually. And so I wanted to introduce Manny. He's wanted to check out to see what an exceptional club meeting looks like. So be on your best behavior. We'll see what happens.
Thank you so much, Richard. I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah, morning.
Hey, good morning, Manny. It's great to have you here. And Jacob, have you got that announcement ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Jacob would like to say a few words about an event coming up.
Mention it this week, and I'm going to keep on mentioning it until the event. On August 26th in the Woodlands, I have the exact address if you want it. From 6 p.m. to 8 p.m., Third Coast Bank is hosting a networking event in which they have table topics. And if you wanted to compete this year, that's also the competition. One of the competitions is international and table topics. Be good practice if you want to compete this year for our club or another club. I don't know why you would want to do that, but so the event is August 26th from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. in the Woodlands. And yeah, and they have a sign up link if you are interested. My dad or I can send you the form so they can get an estimated head count so they know how many people to expect.
Yeah, you got you saw it online, so.
Yeah.
There's gonna be food. Or
Is there going to be food?
Yep.
Yep.
I'll be there.
And I believe that does it for our announcements. So let's do an attendance head count. In the room, we have me, Eric Eisenach, the president of the club. We have Mark Vine, Fernando Torredino, Jim Polonsky, Michelle Cuellar, our number 2 vice president of education. We have Richard Cuellar. We have David White, Jacob Polonsky, and online we have Richard Newman, Burhan Nasir, Roger Young, and Manny, our guest. So now, with that being said, let's go to our pledge quote today, which is Richard Cuellar.
Thank you. Last night, I had a dream I shot an elephant in my pajamas. How an elephant got in my pajamas, I'll never know.
Very good.
But I'm fun. So help me to say the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the United States of Texas, one state under God, one indivisible. Now for the quote. My way of joking is to tell the truth. That's the funniest joke in the world. Muhammad Ali.
Thank you, sir. Brilliant.
Thank you, Richard. And for our guests today, Manny, just in case you haven't realized it yet, everybody who speaks today is saying a joke.
Yeah, there you go.
Like this, for example. What happened when 2 slices of bread went on a date? It was loaf at first sight. With that being said, let me introduce our Toastmaster for this meeting, our distinguished Toastmaster, no less, Fernando Torregano.
Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and guests. If a lawyer can be debarred and a clergyman can be defrogged, doesn't it follow that an electrician can be delighted? Or a musician can be denoted? Or a cowboy can be deranged? Fellow Toastmasters, humor is all around us. You just have to be in the right mood and you can see the humor. I've seen humor in just about every situation, including funerals that I've been to. And sometimes there's just something funny that happens. And sometimes I laugh by myself. That's the strange thing about it. And I have to ask myself, am I the one that's the oddball here? Or is it the fact that nobody else gets the joke? But in any case, I feel that humor is great for everybody because it gives you a chance to be human. I've seen what looks like laughter from animals, but I keep saying to myself, it's really, really laughter. Did they really trying to tell a joke? And I don't know yet. I don't have a good answer for that. So I have to say that right now, that humans are the ones that really have the jokes and really have the humor to understand. And of course, we have the verbal jokes that are right there. But if you think back in old times, when the silent movies and Charlie Chaplin, and there was no verbiage, no words spoken, and they were funny. Some of the comedians that I feel that have gone into what I call the black area of comedy in terms of using language that's not appropriate for everybody, or tones. Sometimes that's not funny, but some of the just the natural stuff.
What were you looking at me?
Well, Mark, you're always funny, no matter what. But in any case, I think that humor is just a human trait that we have. I keep wondering what's going to happen when we finally get some aliens from outer space come in here, and whether they'll be funny too, whether we can joke with them. How was your trip? Type thing. Long duration. What brought you here? That type of thing. But in any case, we're going to have a nice meeting today. So for the word of the day, let's start with that. Richard Newman, do you have the word of the day?
I do. I considered some interesting words. If you Google humorous words, you come up with a whole litany of different words. Bumfuzzle and cattywampus and some other interesting words. Actually, I remember my grandfather using some of those words, and today we're gonna do that as well. I am going to be looking for and listening for. See if I can share this.
You don't see
I
it
find
yet?
it You don't see it yet?
Malarkey.
See it now? The word of the day that we're going to be looking to use is malarkey. And I find it interesting that the definition of malarkey is insincere or foolish talk. And it's interesting that the example sentence that's used is that he thinks that everything politicians say is a bunch of malarkey. And I might agree with that sentence in truth. The other interesting thing is the synonym. I don't know, I never heard of that word, bunkum. So if you use bunkum, you get extra credit. I don't know if you could do that or not, but I'll be listening for that. I'll be listening for filler words like like you know, and Jacob Polomsky's favorite thing, so, especially when it's used at the beginning of the sentence. So, back to you, Fernando.
Yeah. Wait a minute. I can't let you go. Where's the joke?
There's the joke.
Well, it's just a bumfuzzle of a question. I have no jokes today, Fernando. I'm funny looking as it is.
I think you're full of bunkum. All right, thank you, Richard. All right, our timer for this morning is Jim Polonsky, and he's also going to be a vote counter.
Yes.
Come and talk to us.
I agree, having multiple jobs is a bunch of malarkey. The joke I have for you is going to be about time, because I'm the timer today. So first joke I have is, what do you call a belt made out of watches? A waste of time. Thanks a lot, David. All right. Well, I will, yeah. I have jokes coming later. So we have Eric speaking today. His speech will be a 10 to 15-minute speech. At 10 minutes, he will see green. At 12 and a half minutes, he will see yellow. And at 15 minutes, he will see red. For the evaluations, we have green at 2 minutes, yellow at 2.5, and red at 3 minutes. And for table topics, green at 1, yellow at 1.5, and red at 2 minutes. Pretty sure all of y'all have my phone number, but actually Manny doesn't, and David might not put it in the chat. But I will say it so David has it, 713-459-0220. Please send me your votes, and back to you.
Thank you, Jim. Do you realize that the Earth has 70% water everywhere and it's non-carbonated? So that shows you that the Earth is flat. All right, let's try. Oh, you finally got it, huh?
Yeah, well, it's morning. I'm a little delayed.
All right, this morning we're going to have one speaker.
Point of order.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about. Let's see, our GE is Michelle. Come and tell us about your.
I will tell my joke at the end. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters, and good morning, Manny. Glad to have you here today. As GE, it is my role to first look at the meeting as a whole, what we did well, what we could improve, and give some suggestions. Also, I'm interviewing in the second half of the meeting or the third part of the meeting our evaluators, and then I will also evaluate our evaluators. And for my joke this morning, have to do that. What did Pink Panther do or say after he stepped on an ant?
I know.
Dead ant, dead ant, dead ant, dead ant.
Thank you, Michelle. And our let's see what else. Oh, table topic. Please help me welcome Jacob.
Why don't scientists trust atoms? Because they make up everything.
Don't write that, my brother.
Thank you for dealing with my tomfoolery right there. So, I do not like, so is not my favorite word, just so you know. Richard Newman. So I'm going to be serving as your table talk topics master. This is the impromptu portion of our meeting. I came up with a bunch of different questions dealing with jokes, and your job is to speak for 1 minute and answer them to the best of your ability. Please welcome.
What happened to our grammarian?
Here did Richard Newman.
Oh, it is Richard? Okay.
Got it.
Oh, I see. I see. Word of the day in grammarian. I was looking for a separate function there, but Richard can handle it.
You on a different word? You on another word? Is that what you're asking?
No, we're fine with malarkey. All right, let's go into our speaker for this morning. He happens to be our president of the Toastmasters Club here. He's been in Toastmasters for years, and he's at a level 4 speech that he's going to give to this morning, and it's in the motivational strategies pathway. It is part of the Better Speaker series, and it's going to be from 10 to 15 minutes, Mr. Timekeeper. The speech is titled Beginning Your Speech. It's your introduction and why it matters. Please help me welcome Eric Eisenon.
We need to test the remote. Yeah. Under. Yeah. Okay. Make this one more thing. Yeah. 10. Done. Do I have it now? Good. Because that's actually partly what I'm going to be talking about today. Getting your attention when it's time to start speaking. We all know that a speech has 3 major parts to it. We have the main part of the speech, which is also the biggest part of the speech, and that's where the person who is speaking has data and backs it up. You could call that the meat of the sandwich, so to speak. There's also the conclusion of the speech, where the speaker imparts wisdom, one last bit of wisdom, on the way out the door for listeners to take with them as they go throughout their day and throughout the days and weeks after the speech. But an equally important part of the speech is the beginning of the speech. In fact, it may be the most important part of the speech. Your introduction. It is that for one reason. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters. Today, I'm here to talk about the essential part of your speech, the introduction, and why it is important. Now, some may ask, why isn't the body of the speech the most important part of the speech? I mean, after all, that is the main part of the speech with the facts of the speech and the argument of the speech and the way that the speaker makes the argument. I counter by asking this question. If someone speaks for 5 to 7 minutes, but people nod off throughout the speech or are disinterested in the speech, does it even make a sound? I come from a I come from a journalism background. Take a look at what you see in your picture. I come from a journalism background. In fact, I went to college to study it. And one of the first things we learned, and one of the things I carried with me when I went to cover high school sports for all those years, and even after it, is that the beginning of the piece, just like your speech, is very important. If you look closely, you can see that's the beginning of an article. Must the facts of the story be correct? Yes, they must. Must your sources be correctly quoted? Absolutely, 100%. But I've always argued that the success of a story, just like the success of the speeches we do here, can be directly traced to whether your introduction grabbed a speaker's attention right at the beginning of the speech. In journalism, we call that the lead of the story. That's LEDE, just for the record. For there to be a successful introduction, I think a big key is to address what the topic is going to be right at the start. I mean, if you want to use an anecdote and use suspense or curiosity, raise suspense, that's fine. I'll talk about that later. But the one thing you have to do immediately is set the topic. If you're rambling on and don't get to the topic till the middle part of your speech or the end part of your speech, then it's going to be much easier for the people who are listening to the speech to just nod off. In addition to that, you should address not just the topic, but why the topic is beneficial to people. I mean, let's face it, on some level, we're all selfish. We're me first people. I mean, I don't believe we're selfish by nature, but sometimes we just look out for the old number one. We ask, what's in this topic for us? Address that. Tell the people how they'll benefit from the speech, and they're more likely to pay attention. For example, take a look at this. I don't know if you saw the news, but this week we had a total solar eclipse, partial solar eclipse rather. These events are terribly common. They do happen every couple of years. The last event we had like this was in 2024. If your speech was going about the eclipse, one thing you could do is you could address why it's important to wear eclipse glasses during the speech. And just as a clip note, I'll give you the answer of why it's important. Looking directly at the sun can permanently burn and destroy cells in your retina. This is an important thing for someone like me who was born legally blind, but now has 20/60 vision. In other words, if you don't have eclipse glasses, don't be like that Danny Leon fool in Spain that tried to do a mid-air trick with the timed with the eclipse. One other aspect of your intro that can improve your speech is with a good, I gotta go back. With a good intro, you can build rapport with the audience. One way to do that, One way to do that is be enthusiastic. One thing I always try to do in Toastmasters, bring the juice. I know we meet at the butt crack of dawn, but if you're dragging in here and especially if you're giving a speech, that's going to bring the rest of the audience down with you. Bring the juice and everyone will be excited to listen. One other thing, make good eye contact. That's a problem for me, but it's important in your speech because it can establish that your audience is listening and you can have a connection with the audience that way. Another thing you can do, smile, joke, like we're doing today. Smiling makes the speaker more relaxed, and I think it brightens the room. Now let's talk about the methods you can use to open your speech and capture the audience's attention. Number one, startling statement like I did at the beginning of the speech. Attention! And to boot, you can add a startling headline like heart disease and cancer kill. According to the CDC, as of 2024, 4 in 10 United States people die of heart disease. A very easy and effective way to open your speech also is to use a quote. There's a reason why one of our roles in our meetings is pledge quote. Because using a quote to start the meeting sets the tone, sets the topic, which lines up with the theme of the day, usually. When I was in this room last, our topic was aliens. I had the pledge quote, and if you remember, the quote I said was, if the government is covering up knowledge of aliens, then they do a better job at that than they do of anything else, by Stephen Hawking, which, by the way, is true. More than anything, it got a reaction. It's great to use after the pledge, but it's as good a start to your speech as any. Another method you could use, the rhetorical question. To me, this serves two purposes. Number one, gets the audience's attention. As before, just as the first few sentences of any story you might have in a byline gets people's attention. The second is it also implies the audience is going to be participating in some way. Even if you're not called on to answer the question, it puts you on high alert. It's a forcing function to think about what was asked. In my last speech, for example, I started off with the question, why are we here in Toastmasters? It's a rhetorical question. We all know why we're here, to improve our public speaking. But it gets people's attention. How about another technique? Arouse suspense or curiosity. You can't take too long with it, but you can use a real or made-up anecdote at the beginning of your speech to get the audience's senses up. Now let's talk about some things to avoid. Never say how long it took to prepare your speech. Never. And the reason is for two reasons. Number one, it's not necessary. It just takes up too much time. Number two, people just don't care. They're here to hear your speech. They don't care how long it took you to prepare your speech. Another thing to avoid, delaying addressing the topic of your speech. If you can, mention what you're going to talk about in your speech right up front. It sets the predicate and lets the audience know what's ahead. To put a bow on this speech, yes, the body of the speech with the information and facts it may contain, very important. And the conclusion of your speech, as I said, imparts the wisdom that people take with them. But unless you have a good introduction, you will miss out on a big opportunity to get an audience's attention right away. And you might risk losing the audience altogether. It's akin to any first impression. When you meet someone for the first time, you always want to make a good impression. That's how it is with your speech introduction. I shall now return the floor. Mr. Toastmaster.
You want this?
Yeah.
Mr. Timekeeper. How did our speaker do? Yeah, come on. Tell a joke.
To remember the joke. No, I got it. Why shouldn't you tell your secrets to a clock? David? Because time will tell. All right, no, I've got to tell how he did. Right, so Eric had 12 minutes and 45 seconds. So he's qualified.
I am is considered one of the shortest sentences in the English language. Could it be that I do is the longest sentence? All right, take your. All right, take your ballots and write a little love note to Eric, or if you're online, send it through to his telephone number directly.
281
281
782
782
6980.
6980. Send your love note and tell me when a minute has passed, Mrs. Timekeeper. Before I introduce our general evaluator, I'd like to give you this thought that I kept pondering about. If love is blind, why is lingerie so popular? And with that, let me introduce our GE, Michelle Cuellar.
Fernando, I'm the only woman at this meeting and I'm feeling that this is being a sexist joke this morning. I don't know if I need to report you or just giggle along. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters. As GE, it's my responsibility to introduce our next person and also evaluate the evaluator soon. But I just want to share with you my joke. My jokes aren't very good. That's not the joke. Knock, knock. I'll say. But think about it. Next, I would like to introduce our table topics master. He's doing the impromptu section and I kind of threw it on him impromptu. So please help me introduce our area director for L40. Let's see, presentation mastery 4, Jacob Plomsky.
Also media past president. Well, you've seen all my accomplishments. And always.
Want to handle you, must just go ahead.
I told my computer I needed a break And it said no problem. It froze immediately. This is the impromptu portion of our table topics, or this table topics is the impromptu. So your job is to say just a bunch of malarkey until you reach the 1 minute mark. First question, what is the funniest joke you have heard and why did it stick with you? David? Oh, he's evaluating.
Why should Toastmasters never speak into a colander? Because it will strain your voice. And then that was one of the funniest jokes that I've heard that fits. Because if you have no humor and you have no jokes, sometimes you have no life. And it's kind of funny that we throw these jokes out as a theme sometimes, but it creates a lighthearted mood that changes sometimes when you walk in the door, and it will carry you out the door as well. Because if you start the day with laughter and keep going with that joke. I told this joke last Friday night, but I also found out that joke would fit any speaking, singing, or acting one, because if you act like you're in a colander, it's malarkey and bunkum. It doesn't do anything but just give you smoke and mirrors. And by the way, if you would please put the smoke in front of the mirror before I get there.
Why did the scarecrow win an award? He was outstanding in his field. Do you think humor can be taught, or are some people just naturally funnier? Mark.
Yeah, it's interesting. But oh, my joke for the day is where do pirates get their hooks from? From a second-hand store. There you go, mate. There you go. I'm here all week. Try this, try the bill. But no, I always remember that there's obviously the jokes, but there's also where people play jokes on different people, and no more so than in the workplace. I've been subjected to a whole bunch of them, which is like where you go to someone and say, "Oh, can you go there and get a long wait?" So you go there, go for a long wait, and they just leave you standing there because it's a long wait. Or you go to someone and they say, "Oh, can I have a left-handed punch?" So you go in there and somebody punches you in the face with their left hand, which is kind of interesting. But I also remember the one thing that I worked in a factory when I first left school, and they were always playing jokes on the new guys. They were all playing jokes on the new guys. And there's just one guy there, and he was standing in front of a grinding machine, and he was standing there with a can, well, with a plastic cup like that going up, itching spark. And the guy came up to him, and the big boss came up, and everybody was scared of Fred. Everyone was scared of Fred. And he says, "What are you doing there, you idiot?" He said, "Oh, hello, Fred. I'm catching spark for the grinding, to get the ignition going." And he says, "You are some kind of idiot, son." "Hey, Fred," he says, "Yeah." He says, "Why are you using a plastic cup when you should be using a metal one?" And everybody broke into laughter. So practical jokes, I love practical jokes. So, but yeah, and people can be naturally funny, I think. But some people have to work at it. So back to you, my friend. Back to you.
Actually, before I got my current job, I used to be a banker, but I lost interest. What is a joke from your childhood that you still remember? Farhan.
Malcolm. That's it. Malcolm. Malarkey and buncombe together. You take in the English word, I think that just English in general is quite a funny language, and I think that the joke is still on me. I think that when you speak any word in English, you have to be careful. Does it have a double meaning, or is it a silent letter? Expressions? So, for instance, you know, whenever you're listening, the T is silent. I always wonder why. So yeah, I think that expressions I always have a hard time understanding from the childhood. I always used to wonder why the feet smell and why you have a runny nose. Why do we park in a driveway while we drive in the parkway? I think that I'm still like really very confused. So I think the joke is still on me. Uh, Funny story, actually. My brother, when he came to America, and he was like 15 years old, 14 years old, middle school, he signed up for football. And guess what? He's a skinny guy and walked into the practice and got slammed left and right. And he came back and it's like, this is a funny country. We have football, but everybody's running with the hands, and then at the end of the day, they just kick it, and here's a football. So I think that it's at the end of the day very malarkey and buncombe type of a situation. With the silence words, I think that I am still waiting. There's a silence letters. There used to be silent movies. So maybe this general election we may we may have silent politicians. So that would be good. Take care. Back to you.
Played this one game where I'm a necromancer and I summon skeletons. And I started to notice that the skeletons never fought each other. I guess they never had the guts.
Why not?
Who is the funniest person you know personally, and what makes them funny? Roger.
The funniest person I know. Well, Well, let me tell my joke first. So the Irish baker started selling malarkey bread, but everybody complained because it was full of bologna. I don't know. All right. Well, so the funniest person that I know, let's say, that's a tough one. I don't know. I kind of like think of myself as funny, but I was blocked in my early Toastmasters career for being inappropriate, and I wasn't able to be joke master for about a year. So I think of myself as funny, but then I think the when I think about myself, it's like anyways, but yeah, I don't know. That's a tough question, Jacob. I don't know. I don't think of other people as funny. I see the good in everybody. So back to you.
Okay, I understand, Roger. You don't want to make my dad feel bad. I'll take it. That's the funniest person you know. So I know it's between us two. I know. I only know 25 letters in the alphabet. I just don't know why. Tell us about a joke or a funny moment that still makes you laugh every time you think about it. Manny, would you want to participate?
Sure, why not? I'll go ahead and give it a shot. Although do have to say, yesterday when I did my pathways assessment, I found that humor is something that I lack in a lot. So this is going to be fairly challenging for me. But I do want to start with my joke. I actually work at not Gallery Furniture, but at Work Texas, which is a workforce development nonprofit training center. Mattress Mac started it, actually. So the joke that I'm going to tell is related to that. Why did the workforce development nonprofit refuse to hire a broken clock? Even though it was right twice a day, it just wasn't ready for employment. So something, and I actually lost the question what it was, but I'll go ahead and keep talking. Um, I, like I was saying, I lack humor like in most things, and most of the time when I am funny, it's usually very deadpan and serious, right? The delivery is just very sarcastic. I would probably say that it is a bunch of malarkey, but I try my best for sure. And I'm around people that are funny all the time, and um I appreciate them, so I appreciate humor in others, but I'm ready to take on and develop my humor in my speaking skills. Passing it over back to y'all.
Parallel lines have so much in common. Unfortunately, they never meet.
So.
What is your go-to joke when you want to make someone smile? Richard Cuellar.
Thank you, sir. I told my wife she should embrace her mistakes. So she gave me a hug. I thought she would like that one.
What was the question? What's your go-to joke when you want to make someone smile?
Usually my go-to joke was the one I told at the very beginning about, and that was from Groucho Marx. It was in a scene, I don't remember the movie specifically, but it was a Groucho Marx joke. And it's really very clever because it's a double, I always say double entendre, the double entendre of the joke is, you shot the joke, I shot a joke in my pajamas. How an elephant got in my pajamas, I'll never know. I mean, it's funny. But always like, always, or like Manny, always is very deadpan. I'm not very good with humor, but what's funny about that joke is my son Tyler did it, but he changed the word a little bit such that sounds like he said, how how does he say it? How did the elephant got in my pajamas? I'll never know. So, and he said that in church. So it has another meaning to it when a young man talks about an elephant in his pajamas. So it's a little simple different. It's such a funny story, but I always told you it's just the change in the wording changes a lot of things. But that's usually my go-to joke. Sometimes it's funny, sometimes it's not. But thank you for the question.
I went to Half Price Books the other day and I found a book on anti-gravity. I just haven't been able to put it down. Thank you. I'll be here all day. Don't worry, I got a couple more. What is a funny family tradition or inside joke that has been passed down over the years? Richard Newman.
Well, great idea, Fernando, with this theme. I'll tell you that my uncle was the one that was the most full of malarkey. My dad's brother was always cracking jokes, similar to what you mentioned, Richard. And many times he would, as we were parting, we'd had a wonderful time together. He'd probably cracked a number of jokes, different jokes. And as we were departing, he would always say, "Glad you got a chance to see me." And it always cracked me up when he'd say that. And so I picked that up on occasion. I'll say that. But he was always one of these guys that was always the most upbeat guy. He didn't have the easiest life, but he always was very upbeat. And when he passed away about 5, 6 years ago, it just broke my dad's heart because he was the baby in the family, and my dad is 2 years older than Mark, 2 or 3 years older than Mark, and so when Mark passed away from bone cancer, it just kind of broke all our hearts because he was just even going through these struggles. He never really let on the challenges that he was going through. He was always about you and thinking about what you had going on. So back to you.
Maybe if you're gonna do one more, this should probably be it right here.
Okay. Why did the bicycle fall over? Keep falling over. It was too tired.
There you go.
For my final question, tell us about the best laugh you had in the last year. Jim Plomsky.
You, in keeping with the theme of my, theme of my time, why does it take so long to eat the clock?
You run out of time.
Got 2 hands?
You have to go back for seconds.
Oh.
I know. So the best laugh I've had in a year is actually going to be a laugh I'm referencing from this young man's childhood. It's a father of the year type thing. Friday night, we're hanging out, and I walk out of the room, and I go up and I hit my head, not hit my head, but hit my hand on the wall, act like it hit my head when he was like 3 or 4. You know, he laughed, you know, so do it a couple more times, and then later, about an hour later, he goes to the bathroom and he comes out, he goes, "Hey Dad, watch this." So splits his chin, literally starts bleeding. I'm on the couch, I'm like, "Shit. Like, how am I gonna explain this?" So it was I still laugh about that. I had to literally have a training where I was like, okay, I see what you did there. Wasn't as funny as you wanted it to be. Here's what you do. Sure. So, okay, act like you hit your head. Don't actually hit your head. I was looking for an opportunity to share that story today. I'm so glad I did. Back to you, Jacob.
Well, that sure does explain a lot. That explains a lot. Thanks, Jim.
So.
Now we know what's wrong with that.
So the needle.
Why did the coffee file a police report? Why did the coffee file a police report? They got mugged. That concludes my portion of the impromptu table topic section, and don't believe anything my bumpkin dad says. It might be not the truth. It's inflated. But I'll turn it back over to our general evaluator for this meeting, Michelle Claire.
Great job, Jacob. Thank you. Thank you, Jacob, for doing a great job with that. At this time, I would like to introduce our evaluator, and then on my way out, I will give my jokes. Our evaluator is our newest member of our club, distinguished Toastmaster David White, and my joke is knock knock.
Who's there?
Broken pencil.
Broken pencil.
Oh, never mind. It's a pointless joke.
I can't even, just can't even back that one up with the joke. I'm done. I'm done. No, I'm done. No, I can't even write it down. She left me pointless, right? But Eric, it was a great honor to be able to to evaluate you. And why do the introductions matter is an excellent question. It's one of the things that you can never do the second time, like a first good impression when you walk into the room. Your first impression is your introduction. Excellent job. The Better Speaker Series is a great series that if you study the series together, that you will be able to learn how to become a better speaker when you're trying to train and mentor other speakers. So this is the tough evaluation. So there's one question I just can't answer, so we won't address that. But the thing that I liked what you have is the natural speaking ability, your voice. There's no need for a microphone. I think you could do it well in a room 4 times the size and do so without the microphone. Excellent job. The attention that you gave me, or you gave all of us, was a military term. Every person in the military, whether it didn't matter what branch, if anybody said attention, it went immediately quiet. Every head went up. Who's on board? Who's in the room? Whatever. It got my attention. It got your attention. And I believe you guys, every head looked sort of, what? I didn't do nothing, you know? But it got my attention. So I want to bank off of that somewhat. You set the topic right away by using that military term. Excellent idea, I should say. The PowerPoint, the only thing that I would have done was I would have been, if I don't know if you can still modify or use the PowerPoint, but you can screen scrape them, and I mean, not screen scrape them, but you can make your own by using their information, as long as you put a disclaimer at the bottom of it. Give it some more color and tease me to want to see the next slide. Because if it's white over and over and over, what am I looking for? What changed? And one thing that I want to coach you with is try to avoid, so let's go to the next slide statement. Because as soon as you pick up the remote, I know I'm going to the next slide with you. What am I going to see? I will pay attention when it gets there. But I like the idea most of all is how you created the speech and the body of your speech to tell me it looks like a sandwich. Your introduction is it the bottom layer though, or is it the top layer? Because you got to have both hands on a sandwich. What's the most important? That introduction is that bottom layer that you're laying down. Whatever you put on it, where it's an analogy, or if it's a condiment of any kind, you build on top of that, and you did a great job, sir. Thank you. We put it out the next joke. Oh, sorry.
Thank you, David. Even though David's our newest member, but being a distinguished Toastmaster and just having spoke with him a few times, I know that he would be able to give us a very thorough evaluation without too much malarkey and too much bunkum. I just knew that. And I was correct. He peppered in some ideas, and overall, I can learn a few things from David. We all can learn from each other when it comes to not only giving speeches, but the evaluations. What is so nice about the evaluations, you're getting a instantaneous review or evaluation. Remember, an evaluation is subjective, meaning they may have something that they may suggest something that you don't agree with. Take what you want, leave the rest behind. That's one thing that's nice. And we can all learn something when someone's evaluated. You can include those ideas into your own presentations. At this time, I would like to get our reports. And before that, I've been doing these knock-knock jokes. I'm so sorry for all of you that have to hear them, but that's just the way it is. I will ask for a timer's report, Jim, and yeah.
Thank you. Past, present, and future walked into a bar. It was tense. I know, I'm running out of jokes, y'all. I didn't expect to come to the podium this much. All right, the table topics times. David had 106, Mark had 143, Burhan had 151, Manny had 147, Richard Cuellar had 130, Richard Newman had 154, and I had 133. David, your time was 3:02. That is my report.
Yeah. Thank you, Jim. Since we only had one speaker and one evaluator, we do not have to vote on that. So please send your vote to Jim for table topics. And we're not done, but we're almost done. The chairs were our Toastmaster, GE, and table topics. Is that correct? Anyone else I need to add? So send your votes to Jim. Now remember, Jacob is his son, so there is some, no. And yeah. Yes. Next, I would like to speak to Mr. Newman. Mr. Newman, can you give us a report that's doesn't have too much malarkey and bunking in it, please?
Hold on a second. Gotta make my notes here. You're cheating, throwing some stuff in there at the end. I know how you work. We had a pretty clean day because I wasn't counting myself, so I'm the leader of the ahs and the ums. The great thing about being the ah and counter is if you're the counter, you don't have to count yourself. It was awesome. So we had a pretty good, clean day. And malarkey was a fantastic word, which must mean that we're all full of it. I had Fernando had both of them, Bunkum. Michelle had both of them. Jacob said the word. David said the word. Burhan tried to just overachieve. I don't know how he got so many of the word in a 1.5 minute speech, but he managed to squeeze them all in there. And Roger, Manny, and Mark. On our ahs and ums, I did hear a few out of Jim. I got 2 for Jim. I got Fernando. Somehow Fernando had 1. Jacob had 3. And that's not even counting the so that you so made apparent. Michelle, I think, was completely clean. How does she do that? She must think about what she says. How does she do that? Eric, Eric was pretty clean. I only heard 1 actual You got 3 double clutches. And that's something to continue to work on. I heard 1 out of David. He let 1 slip. Burhan had a few. Roger probably is the winner. Roger, I counted you to have 4. Manny, only heard a couple out of you. I counted myself for a so. And Mark, you just can't get by without having at least 1. So I put you down for 1, even though I think I might not have been paying completely attention to all your ums. Back to you, Miss General Evaluator.
Thank you, Mr. Newman. I appreciate that. Overall, great meeting. I want to just suggestion when we start, we come up here and explain our rules, especially because it just helps us practice, right? It builds our confidence and that, but we got to be careful. We can be top heavy, meaning we spend a lot of time on announcements and such, and we need to just get going. But overall, very good meeting. How exciting, Fernando, great topic. As you saw, I am asking different people to be Toastmaster and pick the theme. Approved, of course, first, and that's what Fernando did. So great idea, Fernando. Is very challenging for me. I can't speak for everyone else. Jim, before we do the votes or talk about the winners, I would like to let you know that as VPE, Vice President of Education, it's my responsibility to get the agenda filled for next week. As Eric mentioned, we are having our Division L Director distinguished Toastmaster Nicole Adams come and do our installation. It's also our theme Hawaiian Shirt Day. Maybe we could ask Mark to bring all of his shirts since we know he has a plethora of them. But we need to wear Hawaiian shirts even for installation. Let's get with the program. I think it'll be fun. Roger, I hope you can be here for as the secretary for the club. That would be awesome to have our whole group here for officers. With that, also, I'm going to acknowledge anyone who has completed a level in pathways. So if you are completed a path or a level, excuse me, but have not put it in pathways, please do so this week so I can include you on that acknowledgement. We also, I need some rules for next week. Who would like to be Toastmaster? I was going to speak unless somebody else wants to do a speech because we may have to be limited in our presentations next week. Anyone? Okay. Mark will do Toastmaster. Speak, holler out ideas. Somebody do some different roles. Okay, Toastmaster. Roger, what can I sign you up for, Roger?
So I'm flying out of town on Friday. I have to be I have to leave for the airport by 11. But I got to go back and pick up my family. So how long is it going to take on Friday? I can try to be there, but
you can do the play. We'll do it right at the beginning, so you can leave right after the installation, and you will also get acknowledged for level 1 completion. So if you are here for 15 minutes, that should be suffice if you have to fly out.
Oh no, so my flight's I I have to leave for the airport at 11, so I just have to get back to my side of town by like 10ish. So I think if
that would work.
So that works fine. So I can do pledge. That's fine.
Okay, sounds good. Now that we had this conversation. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyone else want to do GE
Have a good weekend, everyone.
or?
For Marion, if I haven't done that.
Okay, that's fine.
So I'm sure for anything but table topics.
Okay. I won't do that.
I'll do the evaluation.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Burhan. Thank you, Jim. Mr. Newman, will you be here?
Yeah.
What do you want? Anything
I don't
particular?
care.
Okay.
No.
I'll sign you up.
Put me on
where
as
necessary.
you got table
You're not
topics.
gonna
Somebody
be
already
here,
took
right?
table topics.
Nope, you can. But David, you're not going to be here, right? Huh? Oh, okay. You'll be here? Did you want to be GE? That I didn't give you that option this week. I apologize. Do you want GE? Okay. Okay, very good. And at this time, I would like to have Jim come up and give us our awards or recognition.
Thank you, thank you. Already scraping the bottom of the barrel on these jokes. Y'all should probably get this. Why did the man throw the clock out the window? Thank you. So I'm telling you, that's all I got left. There's nothing left. The best speaker today was Eric. Best evaluator was David. Best chair, Jacob. And best table topics is this guy.
We should have someone else check the voting just to make sure. Okay, I would like to have, I'm sorry, my joke for the day, knock, knock. Boo-hoo. Aw, don't cry. It's okay. That's you. I'm just handing it over to Eric. I'm not.
So before I adjourn the meeting, I would like to address Manny for a moment. Would you tell us what you thought of the meeting today? Please.
Yes, thank you. Well, again, thank you so much for having me join you. This is actually the first meeting that I've ever witnessed from beginning to end, and I was very impressed by how organized it is. How all of you, seem to know each other very well. There's a strong sense of community. And I loved your theme. I thought it was phenomenal, especially, given that, that's one of the things that a growth area for me, an opportunity for me. And I definitely respect all of, the veterans that are here, right? You all have great mastery of the skill, the craft. But yes, overall, I thought it was a phenomenal meeting. Thank you so much. I'm gonna take away so many good things from the way that you're running this to run mine.
All
Good,
right.
great.
I appreciate those comments, Manny. Just one last thing. This few last things. This is more of a reminder for me and others. I would like to have our club success plan done by the end of the month. And also, as last reminder for those who partake, Palomsky Fantasy Football Draft is tonight, and joint officers, please join us next week for officer installation. And with that, I will adjourn the meeting. Have a good weekend.
Hey, by the way, I didn't get any invite to any fantasy football thing. Are you guys tired of getting beat? Am I already in?
Yeah.
All right, good. Yeah, because I'd hate to miss the opportunity to beat you guys again.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, I didn't
Have a
get
good
my invite
weekend.
either.
Oh, so it's that. So, but you're already on the app, Roger, I think is what they're saying.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, I just
When's it gonna be?
get back in.
Like,
I guess they're doing the draft tonight. But
some dates.
actually, I guess they're doing the draft tonight. But actually, I was good with them with the auto draft. The auto draft worked just fine for me.
Yeah.
Do you want to be in it, Roger?
Yeah.
Okay, I might have to kick out somebody, but.
Oh, really?
I don't play, so.
All right, have a good weekend, guys. It's good to see you, Manny. We'll be in touch.
Yep.
Okay.
Thanks all. Take care.
Yeah, we'll see you guys.
See you guys.
Smartphone connected.
Oh.
Yeah, so I don't know what's going on with Three Toast Toast, mate. Yeah, I mean,
I don't know what it is.
it's all of a sudden stopped working.
There's a new version that's supposed to go. Yeah, but I don't know when there was an announcement that was made, but then I can see the new versions.
Yeah, so there was, as Michelle said, I can't see you on the agenda, on the list of people on the agenda. I go, it's really exciting. I mean, I've got access to all the admin and all that stuff. Where's your other mate? I can give up.
That I never had that FTA. And I think that's one of the problems. Yeah, at least, and plus I think it's a work computer, so I mean, there may be a blocking thing.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
I've got more security on there.
It has to do with, like if you don't get right capitals or something like that.
You know what, I'm not.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, everything's a lot better.
I don't think that, yeah. I wanna just run through it and see what what's missing. So it'll knock you out, right away. And that's one of the biggest problems I've always faced in other where I changed. I had for that. And I don't remember exactly the line. That turns out again. I heard.
Yeah, I suppose it's
Not recognizing your.
my son, he's, well,
Right.
we lived in an old house at the time, and he would put his head on the outside wall and it would window around. One morning I went in, I forgot his
Yeah, so my phone.
He took
The audience.
maybe two.
Yeah.
He's sitting on the bed and
I
bumping his head
believe
into the window. And he's-
I don't believe so, no.
You got it.
Take her out of that. He worked at the prison guard for a long time. Now he's just somebody else. I had to get the window.
Yeah, no kidding, right? Well, it was nice to meet you.
She would take it.
Somebody trying to. I know, like,
Yeah. Sure. But, we appreciate the show. It's not all the things here, always here though. But like, yeah, that's. Well, this is. I like you. Before me. Yeah. There's not a good. I will set it. Yeah. In a brain. I was kind of what it's gonna tell you about, in real life. Yeah. Oh, what is that? Did I have you? How hard I heard that shit. I like. That's why I replayed it. Oh, he said the. Organized the English, et cetera, so I didn't. So John.
Nice. I was gonna get
Drivers and all, so.
electric guitar.
And I told myself, like, I don't have not heard of it. So, I want to be by myself. I don't know, really good. Okay, I want to get experience. So, I think when I come into the office in June. Later.
How you doing, sir?
Yeah, where do you live? Where do you live?
I live here in Rex.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
That's right.
You know where the.
I do actually, yeah, one of my. It's bit easy.
And I didn't know how to answer. I'm going.
She gave us four.
Yeah.
So anyway. Right.
Okay. Where did you go to the first time to perform, mate? Where was what was your home club? Oh, okay, yes, yeah.
Been here for a long time.
Yeah.
Better topic master, great job.
Fuel fee. How I going? Really epic.
He's right there.
Fine. It's funny, mate, because I mean, like, still got more. There are, I'm making the original rates though. Yeah, people. Nah, I don't.
Jacob, have you ever noticed that nobody ever says,
No.
it's only a game when you're on the winning team?
Went to only again. Yeah, yeah. Like a few months or something like that, mate. Yeah, so I lived in Mississippi, which is the buckle of the Bible Belt. And everybody was returning to church. Your face, I really good. I really good. Yeah. And that's a tough thing because my wife. Oh, all right. I didn't realize it. That's pretty tough. I didn't have a copy of it. He's not sorry, the. He goes to, we, right, I did it,